Hello everybody. I hope you can see me okay. I'm down at Wells Harbor. Well, I'm on Drake's Island, and we're overlooking the channel here. I'm going to turn my video so you can see what I'm looking at. Hopefully this records in horizontal. I did a little test and it came out being vertical. So if somebody can let me know that you're seeing the right view, that would be helpful. We have a good signal, so this should work okay. I hope you can see everything that I'm seeing here. I'm going to give you a little pan. Over there is the other side of the Wells Barrier Island, and on the other side of that is the harbor. We're right in front of the jetty here. You can see there's some rocks right in the foreground. There's a jetty on the other side too, and this forms a channel, a safe harbor for the boats to go in and out. So I'm gonna see if I can set up something that looks fairly decent here, and then I'm gonna read from my latest release, which is called Strands. And some people have asked me, well, why did you use that for a title? And I had a couple of titles for this book, but this one seemed to really represent what was going on. I've developed this Hobbes story. Strands is the 7th volume. And there are a number of people who have become kind of the regulars in Hobbes. And I wanted you to be able to see how all their stories are interrelated. I also had quite a bit of unfinished business from the previous books. So I tried in this book to kind of tie up some of those loose ends. The chapter I'm going to read is one of my favorites in the book. One of the things I enjoy in the Hobbes series is exploring what might be called butch culture. Liz and her friends Sam and Brenda are all fishing buddies. They are all what we might call classic butch characters. And they hang together a lot. This particular chapter has a fair amount of coarse language in it, so viewer discretion is advised. The F-bomb is used frequently, as well as some other choice words, so please forgive Liz and her friends. And the chapter takes place, this is the beginning of chapter 4, takes place on Liz's boat, which is called the Wet Lady. And of course, Liz is a mischief maker, and that has a double meaning. The water in the harbor was as smooth as glass and reflected the boat holes like a mirror. There was no wind, which was good because the air had cooled rapidly after the warm day. Liz zipped up her polar fleece. She wished she had worn jeans instead of shorts. She was tired and too lazy to go below to get the quartz heater. She would have liked company, but Lucy was at the beach house writing a paper. Liz didn't understand Lucy's big rush to get her degree. She didn't need the credential. She was already ordained and had a license to practice psychotherapy. But Liz knew Lucy's secret. In a moment of vulnerability, she had confessed why being addressed as the Reverend Dr. Lucille Bartlett was so important to her. Surrounded by certifiable geniuses, Lucy felt insecure about her intellect and hoped a PhD would prove that she could hold her own. But Liz dreaded a crash like the one that had followed Erica's death. In addition to a heavy class schedule and finishing her book, Lucy had a busy psychotherapy practice, as if her main job as the rector of a parish that included 2 churches wasn't demanding enough. No wonder when she sat down to study, she often fell asleep. Liz was no stranger to overwork. Years ago, when she had first become chief of surgery at Yale, she'd worked herself to the point of exhaustion. The chief of staff had noticed and ordered her to take 2 weeks off in a place where no one could find her. Liz had often heard about the beauty of Maine. She'd rented a beach house and fallen in love. There was nothing like the quiet and beauty of this magical place, nor the smell of the sea. After a long day at the office, Liz really needed this time on the boat. With Sherry on temporary leave, Liz and Amy were seeing patients in addition to their own. It was ironic that Liz had hired another doctor so that she'd have more time on her boat and in her workshop. Since Sherry had taken the Benoit children, Liz hadn't worked on a single project, and this was the first time she'd set foot on the Wet Lady. "Liz, you love being busy," Amy had said when Liz complained. "That's why you haven't retired." Liz didn't like the idea that her new associate had figured her out so quickly, but Amy worked hard and had quickly adapted to the rhythm of the practice. Without her, Liz would be overwhelmed. Liz never realized how much she depended on Sherry until she'd given her time off to deal with the children. So far, CFS hadn't been able to locate any relatives willing to take them. The mother had a cousin, but she had a record with the police and no job. She said she couldn't deal with the kids. Meanwhile, Sherry and Brenda were scrambling to set up their home and arrange childcare while CFS expedited their application to become foster parents. Liz's phone vibrated in her pocket. She pulled it out and glanced at the screen. The caller ID showed Brenda proudly holding the huge striper that had won her first prize in last summer's fishing derby. "I'm at the boat," said Liz, foregoing a greeting as usual. "Sherry let you off for good behavior?" "I don't know if you can hear the wind noise. We had a gale here last night. That's not in the script. And it's blowing so hard, it's actually shaking my pickup truck." "I'm at the boat," said Liz, foregoing a greeting as usual. "Sherry let you off for good behavior?" "She knows I need a break. The kids are in bed. So come down. I'm here, and I have plenty of that sudsy red ale you like." Liz didn't know why she was dangling an unnecessary incentive. Brenda never refused a beer since Liz had told her that her heart had recovered enough to drink alcohol. Why the strange damage caused by COVID had reversed itself remained a mystery. But Liz took it at face value, happy to have her fishing buddy back. Now she was mildly worried that she might lose her again, this time to parenthood. "I'll be there in 10 minutes, Brenda said. "Don't speed. Those Hobbs cops are everywhere." Brenda snickered. "Yes, we are. Don't you ever forget it." After Liz brought up more beer, she remembered the quartz heater and went back down to get it. By the time Brenda climbed into the boat, the glowing coils had created a welcome bubble of warmth that felt good on Liz's bare legs. Brenda plopped down in the neighboring sling chair. "I'm telling you, Brenda," Liz said, opening a beer for her, "you need to carve out some alone time when dealing with kids." "Yeah, I know it's hard to do certain things with them around, like, well, you know. Brenda, you need to find time for sex. You're newlyweds. But I know it's hard with kids. My niece's kids and Maggie's grandkids were always getting into bed with us." "It's easier with grandkids or nieces and nephew. You can send them home. My brother's kids are all grown up now. It's amazing how quickly you get out of practice. And I'm not a natural parent like Sherry." "Some people just have that knack. It helps to like kids," said Liz. "I like them fine, but they still scare me." Liz dropped her voice an octave. "You're telling me the big, brave Hobbs police chief is afraid of some little kids?" She grunted a chuckle. "Just think back to what it was like when you were young." "Liz, I'm 53. Do you think I can remember that far back?" "Of course you can. I'm older than you are, and I can remember." Liz flipped the cap off another bottle of ale. "How are the kids doing?" "Megan still cries herself to sleep at night. She keeps asking us when her mother is coming back. Keith seems to have adjusted to the idea, but he looks sad all the time." "They're grieving. There are different stages of development, so they will react differently. Some people think young children can't grasp the finality of death. Liz gave that idea another moment's thought. Some adults can't either. That's probably where the fairy tale of heaven originated. But don't tell Lucy I said so. I never tell anyone what we talk about, but I doubt Lucy would be surprised to hear your thoughts about the afterlife. We've talked about it, so I know she doesn't believe the dead people sit on clouds talking to angels. Oh, dealing with the living is enough for me, said Liz, raising her beer. I'll drink to that. Cheers. She tapped Liz's bottle and took a swig. Before I get started with my stuff, what's going on with you? It's been really busy. With all those new people moving into Hobbs, the practice has been growing fast. Southern Med realizes their offer to buy us fell flat, so they want to make us an affiliate, as long as we promise a certain number of referrals to their specialists. What did you say to them? Asked Brenda, leaning forward to see Liz's face. I told them to go fuck themselves. Brenda laughed. Good for you. But things are crazy in the office. I really miss having Sherry as my backup. Amy came right in time. Good hire. Some of my hires haven't been that great lately, but it's the candidates. Some of them just aren't tough enough to be cops. Unfortunately, that's what we get now. How's it going with Lucy? I like being with someone who's not always trying to change me. Sure she is. You just don't see her doing it. I can see how much you've changed. Shut up, Brenda. I'm not kidding. You have. Sherry doesn't try to change me either, but she has. That's the danger of having a shrink around. They operate on your head without you knowing it. Lucy hates to be called a shrink. So does Sherry. Lucy invited me to her meeting with her bishop. I'm not looking forward to it, but I agreed to go. Don't tell me you're worried. Shit, you've met the president. You've testified in front of Congress. That was different. It was about breast cancer. That was my work, something I felt confident about. I've never met a bishop before, except in the 5th grade when one slapped me at my confirmation. Well, you might have just seen that the ocean blew up on my nice clean windshield. So much for the view. I'm sure you'll do fine, Liz. He's just another guy in a collar. Put on your power suit and blow him away. I don't think blowing him away will help Lucy. I need to be on good behavior for her sake. Oh my God. See, you've changed. I never thought I'd see the day. Well, I never thought you'd become a mom. Neither did I. When Sherry was talking about having a baby, I just listened. I knew it was a long shot for her to get pregnant. I was worried, of course, that something might happen to her if she did. It's not easy to get pregnant when you're in your 50s, and there are a lot of risks to the mother and the fetus, but it's not as unusual as it used to be. Liz took a long drink of beer, then barely stifled a burp. I kind of understand. I once thought of having a kid. You never told me that, said Liz, giving Brenda her full attention. I wasn't really serious. The idea only lasted 5 minutes. But you thought about it, said Liz, wiping the grin off her face. I did too. No, not you, Liz. Yep, she said, compressing her lips and nodding. As long as I could have a child, it didn't bother me. Now I'm old, so I never think about it anymore. Yeah, we're old, aren't we? Fuck. I'll be collecting Social Security when these kids are in high school, said Brenda, looking up at the sky. Good thing. I have a decent pension. Liz studied Brenda's youthful face and wondered how she could think of herself as old. She kept herself up by working out at the police gym. She enhanced her refined features with makeup and always wore earrings, studs, because dangling earrings weren't allowed in uniform. When Liz had first met Brenda, she thought she was straight. To her relief, she wasn't. There are lots of older parents, said Liz, and grandparents who are raising kids because their own kids are so messed up by substance abuse. Yes, said Brenda, wiping foam off her lip. Things are a mess. Liz looked at her. She hadn't seen Brenda so down since she wanted to quit her job. What's going on, Brenda? Do you feel forced into taking these kids? A little. I wasn't prepared for an instant family. At least you don't have all the worry that goes along with an elderly prima para. I don't think I like the sound of that. Liz laughed. It's medical lingo for an older first-time mother. Liz put her feet up on the deck rail. Is this going to work for you? If not, now is the time to speak up. I kind of like it. Keith follows me around like a puppy when I do work around the house. Megan falls asleep in my lap when I read them a story. It feels good, but I'm worried about what happens if we don't get approval as foster parents. Why wouldn't you? Because we're gay? This is Maine, Brenda. I don't think they can deny you for that. Besides, you're model citizens. You're the police chief, for God's sake. Sherry is a physician's assistant. You both make good money. You own your own home. You got recommendations from the town manager and the Episcopal rector. And you? You don't know what I said in my recommendation, said Liz, giving her the side eye. You didn't. Liz laughed. Of course I didn't. The home visit's the day after tomorrow. We fixed up the house to show them how much we want these kids. Sherry gave up her little office so Megan can have her own room. Sherry washed all the kids' toys. Some of them disintegrated in the washing machine. I could have told you you can't put some stuffed toys through the washer. I found out the hard way. It helps to read the tags. See all the things we don't know? No one knows. Kids don't come with an owner's manual. If this foster thing works out, Sherry wants to adopt them, and I support the idea. I know, Liz, don't look so shocked. These kids have been through so much, and I want them to feel secure. Liz's phone vibrated noisily. Must be Lucy wondering if I'm ever coming home, she said, digging it out of her pocket. But the caller was Sam. Liz swiped open the call. I'm on the boat. I know. I came by the house and Lucy told me where you were. Brenda's here too. Brenda turned at the sound of her name and looked curious, so Liz held up the phone so she could see Sam's picture. Come down and have a beer with us. There was a moment of hesitation. Liz, I need to talk to you. So, come down and talk. We're all friends. Sam, is it that private? Brenda started to get up, but Liz patted the air to indicate she should stay seated. I'll be right down, Sam said. While they waited for Sam, Liz went below to bring up more beer. She rummaged in the galley for salty snacks and came up with peanuts and chips. She found another sling chair and opened it for Sam. That was fast, said Brenda, looking suspicious when Sam climbed into the boat. I didn't speed, replied Sam in a testy voice. It doesn't take long to get here from Liz's house. Liz uncapped a bottle of ale for Sam. To the tres amigas, Liz proposed, raising her glass. They all clicked bottles. Liz, your Spanish accent sucks, Brenda said, but I should talk. I took it in high school and almost failed. My Hispanic cops were always laughing at me. Once I tried to tell them to get to work, but ended up telling them to go to hell. After a few good-natured jabs at Brenda, the laughter finally died down. So what's up, Sam? Liz asked and took a swig of beer. I broke up with Olivia. Holy shit! Liz took her feet off the deck wall and sat up straight. What brought that on? I couldn't stand it anymore. She wanted me there all the time. I have my own house. She even complained when I had to go home to cut the grass. I get it, said Liz. Lucy and I are having the same discussion. She doesn't want to give up the beach house, and I don't want to move. She gave Sam a hard look. But this debate between you and Olivia has been going on since you got together. What brought it to a head? I'm seeing someone. Oh! Liz and Brenda exchanged a look. Who? They asked in unison. I don't know if I should tell you, especially you, Liz. Liz shrugged. Okay, then don't. Oh, Liz, don't even try that as if I care crap on me. Why not? Works every time. All right, I'll tell you. I'm seeing your new doctor, Amy Shue. Oh, for fuck's sake, Sam, you're kidding me. Sam shook her head. We've been having lunch together while I'm working on your renovation. I really like her. That was fast, Brenda said in a neutral voice. Sam, Olivia will blame me. Blah. Sam, Olivia will blame me, even though I had nothing to do with it, said Liz. How did she take it? Was she furious? No, it was weird, said Sam. She was as cold as ice. You didn't tell her you're seeing Amy, Liz asked. No, I'm not that stupid. And she's not the reason we're breaking up, so why bring her into it? Well, Sam, said Brenda, stretching out her legs, a woman's got to do what she's got to do. Sam raised her beer bottle in salute. That's right. Doesn't make it any easier, though. And that's it. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry about the windshield splash obscuring your view. It is really wild down here. I hope you were able to see something worth seeing and that you could hear me all right. The signal down here is pretty strong. And I appreciate you coming by to watch. I'm going to go back on in a minute after I clean the windshield and show you what it looks like going back into town, okay? Thanks for watching.